It says in Joshua 1, from verse 1, I'm going to jump to 5. It says, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke to Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, you and all this people. For the very first time, Joshua was going to face a task so daunting that nobody else had done it in history, aside from the one who came before him. But right in front of him seemed like an impossibility, to lead around 3 million strong-willed Israelites who had been wandering the desert, and now God was going to tell him, hey Joshua, it's now going to be your job to bring them into the promised land that they've long been waiting for. It's going to be his task now. It was going to be his job. I could imagine having heard this from my God if I was Joshua, thinking, Moses is dead. I'm now going to take the front. Lord, I think this is kind of beyond me. Anybody here who's been given something that you know is beyond you? Anybody here? I see a show of hands. Joshua was going to be the leader of Israel for the very first time. Anybody here feels like you're going to be stepping into some things for the very first time this week? Well, this is what it says. Verse 5, I'll just jump to verse 5. It says, no man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. Now that's good. But what I really want to hammer here is the next words. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. Everything around Joshua seemed to be changing. Their location was changing. The leadership was changing. The times and the seasons were changing. They were going to be stepping from a place of being nomads in the desert to now being dwellers in a place they've never even sowed seeds before. But God was telling them, well, it's about time that you did. They were wandering in a place that was never their own, and for the very first time, they were going to step into a place that they could call their own. Everything around them seemed like it was changing. But in the midst of all the changes, there was one thing constant. And it was this word that God was giving to Joshua. As I was with Moses. If there is one thing constant in your life amidst all the changing situations and challenges and crisis even, it is that God is still with you. And I can imagine Joshua thinking, as you were with Moses, you mean splitting the Red Sea kind of presence? You mean water out of a rock experience? You mean splitting whatever I need to go? You mean like that? Well, if that's the way you're gonna be with me, bring it on. I say bring it on. You know why? Because it was never Moses' job. It was always God's job to do the impossibilities, and all he needed was a man. He said, if you would work with me, together, we're gonna do the impossibilities. Anybody want to work with God this week? Come on, just give God the praise. Lift him up. Oh, bring it on, God. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. Let me say this. At the face of greatest uncertainty, faith is the most relevant. Just when you think everything is going crazy, everything is going nuts, you know what the proper response to that is? Lord, I still believe. It's easy to simply say, Lord, I still believe. The hard thing, that's for you. Thanks. That ain't difficult, friends. It's only difficult when you try to owe the responsibility that God is supposed to take care of. Get it off of your shoulders. Get it on God. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you.